Chairman, thank you for this introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me first of all thank the organizers, Robert and his team, to give us the opportunity to be speaker at this conference. And I'm very pleased to have such an international group of people with expertise on wood cement products. We have already met with some of you at our booth. We exchanged business cards and some ideas. And most of the audience, most of you, are related to fiber cement products. We have different products, so I will tell you more about wood cement board. Not only how is it produced, but also how is it applied in the market and what are the market trends. Let me quickly introduce our company to you. As Robert mentioned, we are a family-owned company. We are located in the middle of the Netherlands, in Barneveld, and we've been active for over 63 years in this field. The company was started by my father 63 years ago, and we have some clients, they're not here, but some of our clients in Europe, we're already doing business for more than 50 years with the same clients. So what we do is we develop and supply turnkey production lines for basically for wood cement boards on a worldwide basis. So that means we do not get involved in any resin bonded boards, so no OSB, NDF, or other products, only cement as a binder, sometimes magnetite as a binder. I give you a broad overview of some of our main products. There are different products on the market, as you know. First of all, wood cement board. The second product you see, I will talk about large wall elements, which is a big size prefab wall system, which is being developed. There's a product what we call wood strand cement board. I'll wait another few seconds. Thank you for joining us. This wood strand cement board is basically a medium density wood cement board, so that means in the production process we can play around with the density, and that gives complete different properties to the end product. There's what we call wood residue cement board, which is basically with crushed wood particles. Some product names are Argolite, Velox, Durisol. I think some of these products are known to you. But what we do is are mainly products with long fibers, so we don't work with the crushed wood. You see that, the last one on the list is cement molded particle board. We have done similar projects on cement molded particle board, but the majority what we do is the low density products. And as you know, what Robert also explained earlier today, cement molded particle board is a high density product produced with small particles. We use the long fibers. And you see that I have not included cellulose fiber cement in this list. We see it as a different product. We're not involved in cellulose products. I know there are some producers of equipment and products here in the audience. So due to limited time, I will only basically talk about the top two, means wood cement board and large wall elements in more detail today. Otherwise I need another hour and we don't have it. Wood cement board. It's basically known on the European market for 100 years. I think it started in Austria back in 1890 or something. Of course, in those days everything was made by hand. And we started getting into the production lines for this, like I mentioned, some 60 years ago. And there's still an increased interest for this insulating, fire-resistant and acoustic product. I mentioned acoustic product. And we see growth in Russia, so we are doing new projects in Russia. We have done projects in China, but our base clients are in Europe. That's where the majority of this panel is being produced. Originally, this board was always produced with grey cement, and now we see a trend. Most of the producers, they go more and more towards white cement as a binder, because then they can use this directly, unpainted, as an acoustic ceiling panel. So some clients, they produce either grey, let's say a few shifts a week, or white, but even some clients, they have switched completely to the white cement as a binder. The wood fiber is very thin. We produce them let's say 0.25 millimeter thick. We can change the width of the fiber by the knives in the machine, and the length is typically 25 centimeters. So we use long fibers. What are the properties of this panel? First of all, because of the low density, we have a very good acoustic performance, and we absorb the sound in this panel. We have a high thermal insulation, so the product is also used for thermal insulation, for energy savings. The product does not rot. That was also mentioned in the list of Robert this morning. The product is resistant against rot, resistant against termite, fungi, and we have a high fire resistance because we have a cementous binder, and the majority of the raw materials in this panel is cement. And the standard class is the B1 class, but now we see more and more producers also producing this in A2 class. High thermal storage capacity, which is good, which gives a good environment in the house, and the product is very lightweight. You mentioned about the problem of heavy boards and 2 people to lift it. This is easy to lift by 1 person. Here are a few pictures of production lines. This is a project we did earlier this year in Denmark, an expansion of an existing line. We added another line. Here are some figures on wood cement. You will see that we produce these boards. The trend worldwide is 60 centimeters, 2 feet on width. So this is not a 4x8 panel, 4 foot by 8 foot panel, but typically 50 centimeters. And in the old days it was always 50, and now the market has gone to 60 or 2 foot. And the length is flexible. We produce them 8 foot, 10 foot. Very often at the end of the line we cut them down back to, let's say, 1.2 meter. So an acoustic panel very often is 60 by 1 meter 20. The thickness is adjustable, anything between 15 and 100 millimeter, sometimes even more than 100 millimeter. And again, the low density, that gives the thermal and acoustic properties. So we have only, depending on the density and the thickness of the panel, only 350 to max 550 kilo per cubic meter of finished product. Roughly input ratio of the raw materials is wood, water, cement, 1:1, roughly 1.7. We add a little bit sodium silicate for this acceleration, but there are no other additives, so we have natural products. And a typical plant capacity, if we run it 3 shifts, is about 12,000 square meter of finished products per day. Current market in Europe, if we add up the capacities of our existing client base, we still see quite a steady increase. That was always, it's maybe still a niche product because you don't see it everywhere, but it expands, and we're close to reaching 20 million square meters per year. If you take an average sell price of an acoustic panel of €10, the turnover in Europe is close to €200 million on only wood cement. So we can say that wood cement is very well established, and that has to do with the new European regulations on fire protection, energy savings. It's very hot nowadays. All the old buildings need to be converted to zero energy housing if possible. Sound protection is becoming more and more important. And the architects and the developers, they want to use natural, sustainable materials. So we see, when you look to the cradle-to-cradle requirements nowadays, we see less use of polystyrene and other insulating materials and more natural products like this. Here's some more pictures of a typical line. For us, a size project, we try to do 1 project per year, so that means a new line every year. That's basically what we can handle. And in size, that is between 30 and 50 truckloads of equipment, and we try to complete it in one year, a new plant. I will show you a short video of a production line we installed last year at a new client in Russia. This is a modern high-capacity plant. Like I mentioned, only started it last year. We start with small diameter softwood, so we use typically pine, spruce, poplar, no hardwoods. And we go directly from the round wood, we cut it into blocks. The video will show it. we go directly to the mixing line, forming line, etc. Enjoy the video, please. This is a project we did in Chernobyl, Russia, north of Moscow. Greenfield project. So 1 year earlier, this was really a greenfield. We use poplar as a raw material here. Step 1 is to debark all the logs. And then we leave the wood out for up to 6 months to reduce the sugar content, basically and the lignin content, so this wood is suitable to bind with cement without too many chemicals. Step 1 is we make blocks of 50 centimeter, and we go into this, we call this an automatic wool machine, and it will make little strands. So these strands are 25 centimeter long, and this machine makes 60,000 fibers per second. We add cement, we add water, and a little bit of sodium silicate if we need this additional binding. So all the dosing is done electronically. We have a continuous mixing process, you see it here. And then we produce about 10-11 tons per hour of fresh mixture. This goes to our forming line, and the forming we do with these marine plywood molds. So these are already the dimensions of this finished good, so 2.4 meter by 60 by a certain thickness. And then we form a continuous mat. This 10-11 ton mixture we form in this forming line on a continuous basis. Only low compression. Now we cut to this desired length, 2.4 on the fly. Some quality control is needed, and then we stack them into this stacking press. But again, low density, there's only 1 ton pressure on top. We want to keep these acoustic properties in this tank. Then we have a 24-hour initial curing in the form, so the board needs 24 hours to set. And after 24 hours we can go to this demolding station, where we tip the panel out of the form. The form goes back to the line, so the forms return every 24 hours through the line. And the board goes to in the other direction from this demolding station. We do some pre-turning, and then we stack these panels temporarily onto a pallet. Then we need another 10 days, 10-12 days, what we call second setting. Let the cement do its work and have this board cured further to make the board more stable. It's just time. There's no heat involved, it's just time, 10 days curing. And then there's still a little bit too much moisture in, and we go through a board dryer, and then we go to this final processing. You can see we already cut the panel to the desired 1.2 meter length. And then what follows is thickness calibration, trimming, profiling, painting, whatever the client wishes to finish. So we do this project on a turnkey basis. Whatever we can develop ourselves, we develop. And certain machines we buy from suppliers, like a trimming line or a painting line, we buy from European suppliers. So again, boards are always 60 centimeter in width, and typical length 1.2 meter, 2.4 meter, but up to 3. Gives you an idea of such a new production line. How do we make the board? Now I'd like to show you applications. How is this panel applied in the market? Let's start with ceilings, because that's the majority of the market, in particular nowadays in Europe. Acoustic absorption. For example, if we go to any of the IKEA shops in Europe, all of them, they have a regulation in the company. The parking store down is always cold, and they need fire protection and they need acoustic. So you see them a lot in parking houses. And that is also by German law, or let's say European law nowadays, you need a certain fire resistance in your parking house. Swimming pools, where because this board is not subject to any moisture. And you have the kids running around, so you need acoustics, but you also need a panel which is not affected by the moisture of the swimming pool. What we see more and more now is decorative acoustic solutions. So not only have this panel as a wide ceiling panel, but we see these new applications where clients like the design, and they need the acoustic performance in a conference room or in a shop or in a hotel. This is also something what we see more and more. So then these panels, once they are produced, they are processed with some profiles and paint, etc. What is becoming more and more a trend, which was not really there 10 years ago, is acoustic panels in homes. And this starts basically in Denmark, and where you see very modern interiors nowadays at these apartments. There's no carpet, there are no curtains, so there's no place for acoustics. The only place left is the ceiling. And there are now what our clients in Scandinavia tell us, there are new European regulations coming where you need a certain indoor climate. It means not only the temperature and the moisture, but also your sound has to be to a certain level. So, and they say that the biggest potential market for this is not what we used to see in offices and parking houses, no, in private homes, because of European regulations which are coming. Roofing, mainly in Scandinavia, for example in Sweden, we have a client that make very thick roofing boards. These are reinforced boards, and you need this for the climate, because you have cold climate, so we have the thermal insulation, but also now by having the poles inserted, we have a high load. For example, for a 1 meter snow load in Sweden, this board does very well. So in certain countries, they have a very good market for what we call roofing boards, reinforced roofing boards. Another trend in Europe, of course, is renovation. We have particularly in Holland, but also in Germany, we have many old buildings with brick, and they are not up to today's standards of zero energy, or at least energy saving. So what can easily be done is you apply wood cement to the outside of such a building, and then on the left you see the clients apply stucco and then paint it. And now this house meets again new standards, which are now under the European law for energy savings. This is a project by Isolit here in Austria, very close to here. And then I come to this second product, which was on my list, which is what we call large wood cement wall element system. This has been developed in the last few years by our Swedish client, Traulit, and they already make wood cement, so they know all the good properties of this product. And first they made building blocks, and they said, well, why don't we increase the size? Why don't we make this wood cement board up to 6 meter and wall height, so 2.8 to 3 meter, and then real good thickness, 400, 500 millimeter thickness. And they started developing this, and they have done now about 300-400 projects, and with very good result. It goes very quick. So in the line, we produce the elements already to the proper sizes, and then they have a number, and basically in 2 hours all the walls are standing. So we produce them according to the drawings of the architect, and with the new lines we already, with the CNC machine, we make the openings for the electrical conduits, for the water piping. Actually in the next step, the windows can be assembled, the stucco can already be there, and then you build your house in 2 hours. All the walls will be standing in 2 hours. Very good properties on insulation. So here's some pictures of mainly in Sweden at the moment. In Sweden they have a lot of space, so most of the projects they do, the villas are 1 and 2 story. They don't go high at the moment, but I will show you some high-rise as well. Nice projects. Here the board is always stucco. It's an outer wall, so the client applies a stucco base to the outer wall. But high thermal insulation, Here's another project which is a kindergarten and a school under construction. And here we use both products. So we use the large elements for the outer walls. These are 40 centimeter thick. They have a very high R value of 5.2. And then again, you also see on the left these reinforced roofing boards. So the whole project is done with wood wool cement in view of all the advantages I mentioned before. Because the product mixture is the same, whether you could use a large element or whether you could use a roofing board. It has the same properties on fire resistance. So the large wall, they have a 6-hour fire rating with a standard mix. So we don't have to add any additives. Here you see some examples of recent projects. On the top right, you see a project in China where we supplied a large element line, and they said, let's do a first project. And we thought, okay, they will do a small project. They said, yeah, it's a small project. Then it immediately went up 18 stories. But the mold bearing is the steel framing, and then here the panel is just insulation, it's cladding. At the bottom you see offices, so it's being well developed at the moment. Here are some of the advantages. High thermal insulation, we go even up to a R of 10, so for passive housing, so zero energy housing. Also very good heat storage capacity, which is important for the comfort. It means the heat of the day is absorbed in the wall and very gradually released, and that gives a very comfortable living space. And it's a damp open wall, so it's a moisture regulating system. Fireproof, I mentioned already, 6-hour fire rating in this wall, and resistant against rot, termites when we low weight, that means we can put many elements on the truck, and very short construction time. Another market which is coming for this type of product is sound barriers. We see that more and more because this panel can be well applied outside in the environments. It's not affected by snow and weather. So we see quite more, because the new regulations are that the sound needs to be absorbed, so we cannot use concrete or glass or wood because it bounces back the sound that needs to absorb. So we see quite a lot of this wood wool cement board or this wood residue cement board for these applications. So highways, railways. Few pictures of such a large element line. So we have developed a automatic line to produce these panels, and the first one, fully automatic line, is operational in China, and in Sweden they still make them, let's say semi-automatic. So at the end of the line we have a CNC machine, and we cut them to the proper size. We make openings for the window, for the electrical wiring, everything what is needed according to the sketch of the architect. Then assemble the windows, put the stucco, and then the elements go on the truck. I have a short introduction video on this large element system. There is a little bit of concrete used in these elements, but only the top ring is filled with concrete. That gives enough stability for the load bearing and the wind bolts, etc. So we always work closely with the client. Okay, what are the needs in view of dimensions, in view of thermal insulation, and then we design a plant according to these specifications. Again, we use the same round wood, softwood species, pine, poplar, acina, acacia can be used. We make the long strands. Then we have our mixing and dosing line where we add the water a little bit so you see the gardens. So these wall elements, they are typically made with gray cement. There's no need to use the white cement because the walls will be stuccoed at the end, and better use the cheaper gray cement. Then we do the forming. We exactly spread this mixture into these forms. Again, curing, 1 day curing before we can take it from the mold. So there's no press, we don't compress this material. Then after 24, 48 hours we can take the panel from the form It's like wood cement. Keep it another 10 days to make it stable. There's no shrinkage on this element. We measured in the 6 meter during this 10-day curing. There's only 2 millimeter shrinkage. So the element is very stable. And then we do the final processing according to the design of the house. And then ship. Low weight, only 350 kilo per cubic meter, so we can load the truck on volume, not on weight. And the elements arrive at the building site, they all have a number, and in 2-3 hours the walls are standing. And this is the opening on top where we pour, we have a reinforced brick beam, so a very small amount of fresh concrete to give stability to this construction. Apply your stucco afterwards or in the factory, that's up to the client to decide. Also in these houses we like, of course, wood cement acoustic ceiling. This is again the same school under construction. We see that particularly in Scandinavia, people know the product, they know the properties, they know the advantages, and we see a lot of applications of wood cement, both in the walls but also in the ceilings. And Sweden, Denmark is a very hot product. This is the project in China. The first project they did was 18 stories, and 1 month later they had the project 25 stories. So it's as long as you take care of the load bearing capacities in the steel framing or concrete framing. Depending on, of course, the size of the houses, we run from such a line between 1,200 and 2,000 prefab houses per year. Sustainable. We always prefer to use the local raw materials, so short shipping distances. And very comfortable. Insulated, moisture balancing. This is a new development, so you will not have seen a lot of this construction in Germany or in Holland. It's mainly Sweden at the moment, but this product is basically more than established. Now what we want to do is Eltomation. We want to take this technology and take it what we call affordable prefab housing. For example, in Africa, we have applied wood cement all over the world. We have clients in almost worldwide basis, so the product is known in Malaysia, in the Philippines, in South Africa, Brazil, and already small houses have been built. This was still done with the standard panel, so still a lot of labor involved. And we are now in contact with some parties to go to this prefab technology. Because many of these countries, they need huge amounts of houses. 1 million houses here is nothing. And another 1.5 in this African country is also nothing. And we're talking to some potential clients that said, I have a contract for 60,000 low-cost housing, 30,000 to 40,000, so, but if we build brick by brick, we can never get it done. We don't have skilled labor, and we don't have the building speed which we need. So this is, we feel something which could be the solution we look for, using local raw materials. Cement they have in most cases, and we test all the wood species they have. We try to find softwood species, but we just tested some 6 wood species from Ghana. We didn't know at all, and 5 of them worked well. So we did the testing also in cooperation with Technical University in Eindhoven in Holland. We think this is a good future. Talk a little bit about sustainability and life cycle analysis. Wood cement has already, like fiber cement and other products, and what Robert mentioned in the beginning, we have a very long lifespan. 100 years is nothing. I've seen panels which have been put to a shed in Sweden outside, been there for 70 years, and nothing happens. They were not even painted. The fibers get like purified, they get harder and harder. so the product doesn't rot. We know that the Building Research Institute in England, they did some tests. They had one panel underwater for 1 year, take it out, tested, no difference. We want to use, of course, FSC certified small diameter softwood. We prefer not to use hardwood. We have different certificates on the products. In Denmark, we have the Healthy Indoor Climate Certificate. There are no emissions from this panel. So there's no resin or any formaldehyde in the panels. In Denmark, we have already, our client has a cradle-to-cradle silver certificate, and they're working hard to the gold level and even platinum level. So fully cradle-to-cradle. I think on my next slide I'll talk a little bit more about that. And they have already now done a test. They say the product is fully recyclable. And they work with Aalborg cement, and already for the last year they are returning the waste to Aalborg for renewed cement production. And what we hear is that this is very successful so far. So they are working from going from this silver certificate to their gold certificate. Some R&D we were involved in. We have a 5-year research program with Technical University of Eindhoven on sustainable building materials. And we look for alternative, if possible, agro-waste materials, bagasse, hemp, elephant grass. Some work okay, some don't work okay. But this is still in testing phase. So far, all the plants we have done worldwide, we use softwood. So no agro-waste yet. But we need long fibers, so we cannot use all the waste. We cannot use the small coconut waste and rice husk, etc. Because we want this low density product for which we need long fibers. And of course, maybe together with this audience, we look for a further reduction of the CO2 footprint. So maybe alternatives to cement or additives. So in that respect, we are very interested in together with our clients, improve the sustainability. And we're always open to listen to our clients and listen to specialists in the field of sustainability. That was the end of my presentation on a different product than most of you are involved in, and I hope it was of interest to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Bert, for a very interesting presentation. You gave us a lot of information there.
Thank you.
But notwithstanding that fact, there are a lot of questions for you. So we're going to spend 5 minutes on these. 5 minutes is all we have. But the first question is, how much does one of these lines cost?
That's a good question. And I like that question because people are already thinking about an investment, so that's always good. The video you have seen on the complete process, that means from beginning till finished packed goods, you have to think in the range of about 10 million euro installed, 10 to 12. In the old days, we did basically only the front end. That means we make the panels, and our European clients, they already know, okay, where to buy a painting line or packaging line. But nowadays, we see more and more clients want a one-source supply, and in particular, when we're outside of Europe and in China and Russia, we supply the complete line, excluding the building. So we give the specifications for the building, but we do the whole thing from front till end. And then you think for this capacity, 12,000 square meter per day, 10, 12 million, depending on distance, so including transportation installation.
Okay. Dominic asks, what is the lambda value of Woodwell cement boards?
Lambda is 0.0072. But some clients, they use a somewhat different figure. But I have it, if you come to my booth next door, I can look it up. There are different figures, but roughly in this field. And then if we calculate back that to the U value or the R value, this is where I give you these figures of this 5.2 R value.
Okay. David Appelfeld asks, do you have an idea about how big is the Woodwell cement board acoustic ceiling market and how much it grows year on year?
I I showed you a figure of the European market getting close to 20 million square meters per year. That is not only what is being produced, but also what goes into the market. I think 80% is acoustic panels.
Okay.
Because that's the majority of the application.
And Andre M asks, is that market of 18 to 20 million square meters in Europe, including Russia and Turkey?
There is no wood wool cement production in Turkey, at least not ours. And I don't think that any, but maybe. But in Russia, the new lines in Russia, they mainly serve their own market because Russia is big, so many of the panels go east, and a little bit volume comes to the European market, maybe 20% or 50%. But majority, so the 18 million includes a little bit import from Russia, but there's a lot more export from Europe to North America, worldwide, Asia.
Okay, next question. Heinz asks, are you restricted to certain types of cement for this application? I was very interested to hear that there might be alternative binders.
Yeah, let's say our clients, they work with the gray cement, the CEM1, 42.5, 52.5. That's basically what we hear from our clients. And then I mentioned there's a trend more and more going towards the white cement, but some use both. If we go to this extra fire resistance, this A2 class, they add a small percentage additive. And they're very secretive about it because they all want to keep their own secret and not. So I cannot mention details, but we add to go from this B class fire resistance to the A2. We dose in. You saw in the video 2 dosing systems. One is majority is for cement, and there's a little bit additive. Can be any product which is developed by such a client, and we have to keep that proprietary.
Okay, we have a decreasing amount of time, so briefly, Jerry asks, do the molds have a special liner? There didn't seem to be a release agent involved.
We use a mineral oil release oil, very thin. So we measure the speed of the line, and when then electronically we dose the amount with very fine nozzles. There's a little film of release agent in the mold.
Okay. Alan from Sasselwax asks, is there an additive used in order to improve the hydrophobic properties of the boards?
No. This is the only raw materials we use is the softwood, the water, cement, and sodium silicate, but that's to accelerate. And some clients even put that to 0. In the summer, when we have enough heat, we don't put any additive in. Only in winter to get this acceleration going. Let's say 1-2% water glass is added.
Alan asks, what is the lifetime or expected lifetime when wood wool cement board is used outside or for outside walls?
I think I mentioned that before. I've seen panels which have been out for 70 years. Without stucco. I've seen projects in Salzburg where boards were behind stucco 100 years. So the product gets harder and harder. It purifies, so it doesn't rot, it doesn't deteriorate.
Okay, last couple of quick questions. What is the cost price of wood wool cement board per ton or per cubic meter? What is the sales price level of wood wool cement board?
If we talk to, let's say, a new potential client, we always send him a small Excel file. We want to know what is the cost of your wood, your cement, your labor, your power. He fills this in, and then we can analyze, because there's no one figure. It depends on your labor cost. Cost of the wood differs greatly worldwide. Cost of cement, well, you know even better than I do, is quite stable, but we have some clients where the cement factor is the highest percentage, the highest cost factor of the board, and in other regions the wood is the highest. So it's very difficult to say. I have seen figures when we look at we always say it in cost per square meter, but let's say an acoustic ceiling panel you have seen, 25 millimeter. I think in Russia it can be produced for 1 €1.5 per square meter, and sell prices in Europe are 10, 12, depending on how many distributors are in between, but roughly.
Very good. Okay, that's all the time we have for questions. So let's once again thank our speaker, Bert van Elten. Thank you very much.
Thank you.